Well, let's see. I just got done talking about money and politics and stuff on the live video. So let's talk about Christy Noem getting fired over here. What do you think, huh? She's gone. Now, what does that mean? Does anybody have an idea what does that mean? Nothing really in the scheme of things. But my question to you is, what happens to the jet with the bed? Who gets that? You know? And are we still paying for those fucked up commercials of hers? She's got a job that until yesterday afternoon didn't exist in an organization nobody's ever heard of. So she's basically in Trump no man's land. So what are we going to do about that? I mean, what she's got, I guess we're still paying for her security. Does that mean she and her lover are broken up now because they don't work together anymore? All that proved was that little stint that she had there, that Trump just hired one of the most corrupt individuals he could have possibly hired. And she's the next governor of Nebraska. And they loved her out there. She apparently did a good job. She just got into this thing, and I don't know whether that's Lewandowski or whatever his name is the reason that she went batshit crazy. I mean, maybe he's got a, you know what I mean? But this is just so stupid that we got all this millions of $220 million invested in this bitch. She's got all these planes she bought for deportation planes. Why do we buy them? You know, we got planes laying around, get them back in the air, get pilots, you know. Pilots are always looking to make extra money to fly some, you know, you fly these people to where they, you know, you want to fly them to. But when you take a person out of this country, which they're not from, okay, they entered illegally, and it's a very touchy situation, so I don't want to get too involved with that part of it. But you deport them. Where are you deporting them to? Nigeria? That's slave labor. That's what you're doing. You're deporting them to slave labor. Christy Noem should be, and Donald Trump should both get deported for slave labor. But people have to watch this situation that's going on with Trump, because sooner or later his family's going to say, you know, start running for public office or something like that, and something's going to have to be done about that. Because when Trump goes, you don't want his family around. You know? That's why I think, you know, my idea of having him dragged out as a prisoner from the White House is pretty good, because then you can confiscate his money, and you know then you can go after his businesses and everything else, because he's especially if you can convict him of treason. You know, put that money towards Medicaid or Medicare or some other program that's actually going to help people, because he hasn't helped anybody except his rich friends right now, and that's, you know, disgusting in itself. But anyhow, I want to know if the bed, when they sell that plane, if the bed's going to come with the cum-stained sheets and everything, you know. And are there any video cameras on that plane that nobody's downloaded yet? That ought to be interesting. What do you think, huh? A little porn, you know, a little Christy porn for Christy Noem. Man, I'm telling you, I'm delusional. I know I am, but that's beside the point. Sometimes I'm funny. I don't know whether any of this stuff is funny today or not. But, you know, we were talking, my other video, I was discussing the point that with AI. I might as well bring that over here too. AI is replacing jobs. There's articles out there that half of the first year jobs that are out there will be taken up by AI in roughly a year or two. So my question is this: what do we do with the people? Where do these people go? And I think it's a legitimate question. Where do these people go? What do you do with them? If they're unemployable, if your job is, and you've been working at it for, I don't want to say, not even 20 years. If you've been working at it for 5 years, all right, you wake up tomorrow morning and your job's gone. All right, it's taken over by artificial intelligence. They don't need you anymore. They don't have to pay you $60,000 to $100,000 a year. They're paying a rental fee of $10,000 a year now, or something like that. Whatever. All they do now is they pay for a can of 3-in-1 oil for this thing to do its job. Now, what do you do with those people? There were, what was it that lost their jobs last month? 92,000 people became unemployed last month. So what are you going to do with, say, 200,000 people come out of work? You can't give them all unemployment. They don't have a job. They've never ever had a job if they're in the first year job. So you don't hire the first year, and you get rid of the people that have worked for 5 years or more. Or you take the top tier down, because the top tier you pay the most to. Now you're not paying hospitalization anymore. And when AT&T split up their units a long time ago, and they hired these people back that they fired, that they terminated, a couple 100,000 people they terminated. They brought them back as consultants. Now they don't pay these consultants. They pay these consultants a little bit more money, but they don't pay hospitalization. They don't pay vacations. They don't pay anything. Unemployment insurance. They don't pay anything. They're all the consultant's responsible for all that themselves. So they pay them a little bit more money, but not enough to, make them get rich on it or anything like that. Just so that they can, buy some stuff. And what happens is that money, was billions, a couple $1 billion at the time, a month maybe. I don't know. I didn't remember the exact figures. This is a long time ago. I was like 50 years ago or something like that. Anyhow, you get your you get the same amount of work without the problems. And every time they finish a job, these people have to go out and find another job. If they get a contract for 30 days or a year or whatever the contract is for, when the contract's up, they have to go find another job. Or when the project's completed, they've got to go find another job. You don't have to find it for them. You don't have to hire them. And well, it's the same principle now with AI coming in. All right, look, what? When I went to work for the post office, I was in my 30s. That's a long time ago, and they had already put in automatic scanners and everything else. And I personally processed over 400,000 pieces of mail a night. Okay, and got it out of that post office and on the road. One machine, me. So there was the final processing, and apparently they said that I replaced something like 10 men. One machine and me, 10 men. So that you spread that all through the postal organization, and you know how many people they replaced. And then what do? There'll be no such thing as part-time work. Why? These people don't get tired. AI doesn't get tired. AI doesn't get sick, so you got no benefits. AI doesn't need a vacation, so you got no vacation pay, benefits. Okay? You don't want to work anymore, you sell a machine. If you're going out of business, you sell the AI. You just flick a switch and turn it off. That's it. We're done. Bye. No unemployment, no layoff expenses, nothing. You're just done. Just flip the switch and walk out the door. But the question arises, what do we do with these people? Now, if AI is replacing workers, and those workers can't get another job, so either they're going to collect unemployment. My earphones just died. Either they're going to collect unemployment, or they're going to. I think that was my headphones that just died. La 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 la. Nah, it's still there. I don't know what that noise was. Maybe it was my mic. Was it my mic? No, it wasn't my mic either. I get a weird sound every once in a while. Something dies in my electronically, and I don't know what the hell is happening. But anyhow, you have what else was I saying? These unemployed people. Now, if they're unemployed, were they your customers that you just fired? Were they customers of yours? Did they buy the product you're manufacturing with machinery now? Well, if they are, they don't have any money. How are they going to buy the product? There's something they're not paying attention to here, and I don't understand that. I really don't understand. The question that was brought up years and years ago. My father died. My stepbrother came to me and said, you have to find a job. Now the job is managing people. What people? You can't do that today. There's not going to be people working. They don't need you. Where are you getting your money from? A government allowance? Yeah, you'll live good on that, which means there's no opportunity for advancement or anything. So now you become stagnant mentally and physically. And you become slaves. That's the only alternative. Drones. Like in a beehive, you become drones. Oh, well. I'm not going to be here to see that, I hope. Although the way things are speeding up, there's a lack of confidence that we're not going to see something like Terminator happen. Because my lack of confidence is that there's no security. There's no, when I say security, there's no control over this AI. It's just expanding at its own rate. And once it starts to do that, it becomes what they call sentient. Once it becomes sentient, it decides that we're not necessary. And that's just, it goes for the owners of these machines too. What are you going to make your money off of? I don't understand the theory behind AI, because there's no long-range thinking going on when they're planning AI. It's a short-term greed is what's running AI, and that's just stupid. I don't know, I'm not like I said, I'm not a real genius with this stuff, I'm probably missing something, but I doubt it. But it would seem that I have to be missing something, because it doesn't make any sense what they're doing. If you're replacing jobs, what are you doing with the people? And Trump don't give a shit, But if you run out of people to buy stuff, where is your money coming from? Your machines aren't going to buy it. That's just complicated bullshit. All right, I'm out of here. You can go see the live video if you have YouTube. You can go see, and you sign up to YouTube, or if you subscribe to my channel, you'll get to. I believe you can go back and check on my live videos. If you missed it, you can go view it. So do a little bit of subscription, people. And you'll get some crazy shit coming out of my mouth or you'll think it's crazy. To me, it makes a whole lot of sense, which shows you how nuts I really am. But subscribe to my channel, like it, dislike it. I just want you to watch it. Okay? I'm not making any money on this deal. I've got so many. I have to have so many subscribers that I think I have 24, and I think I need something like 500 before they even consider me for money. And if you want to make money, you need like 2,000 subscribers or something like that. I'm not going to live that long, so you guys do what you want to do. But in the meantime, please hit that subscribe button just to make me happy. Just to make me happy. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.